Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles with one purpose only: to help individuals of all walks of life achieve their manifestation dreams and goals. I've been a coach for 10 years, last 3 years on YouTube. For 3 years, I had a different channel. The link is below. You can go and check out the plethora of my work there. The best work is the most recent one. So big thumbs up and big subscribe to this channel. The energy with this channel is something magical. I really feel it. I feel the downloads. I'm more inspired. It was a really great idea to walk away from that channel. It has it had technological issues, but I was really happy that I made that decision because it was really cleansing. And like I said, this energy is just pure gold. So big thumbs up and big subscribe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get straight into the message and then explain the coaching because I meditated. I took the time to meditate. And happy Thanksgiving, first and foremost. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's having a jolly good time or will have an opportunity to have Thanksgiving maybe this weekend if it didn't work out on the day of. So happy Thanksgiving and love to all my subscribers and listeners. And do subscribe. I would love to reach the goal of 500 so I can start pinning my products on my channel. All right. So the topic of today is encode your SP with your own energy. So I really love this word encode. Okay. And it's so true about the method that I teach. What I teach in coaching is energy work. It's part of the curriculum in my coaching. It's towards the end, after we process your mama drama panorama, as I refer to it. Everything that has gone on thus far, your experiences. You simply need to cleanse your palette to be able to vibrate differently. So, towards the end is why I teach you the energy work, because you're working with your own energy. But the way that I want to encourage you to see the world is that you're coding it with your energy, everything. Okay, your most immediate circle, the 360 bubble. Okay, your SP, your direct relationships. Okay, the way that I coach, again, I want to stress, I don't buy into this exaggeration of everybody's you pushed out. I think, yes, your immediate circle. To say that you're responsible for everybody else, I think it's absurd. Okay. So, but nevertheless, your life is entirely your canvas and you're the Modigliani of your life. All right. But the way that you paint is with your energy. And so visualize, like, I just had a walk after the dinner, and this visualization came to me of, well, the way that I see the world. Okay. The way that I see the world, that I know a lot of people will relate, is energy. Okay, you pick up on more than what's really visible. In fact, you do see, the way that I see is I see people's energies in colors. Okay, and so the visualization that came to me was, the Matrix, right? Everybody's seen the Matrix. Like when I believe the opening titles or the closing titles, they have or the imagery, all the numbers kind of like raining down, right? So this is so very accurate, except there are no real numbers or zeros. It's the emotion. It's energy in motion, the kind of emotion that gets kind of encoded into that tapestry of your 360 bubble. All right. So this very much you have control over. And the way that I teach is a really simple method, okay, designed by yours truly. And it really works very well. A child can do it. Okay. But you have to understand what you're working with. And chances are that right now the program is running on a lot of other, yes, beliefs, assumptions, and again, emotions. I want to stress this because we do process emotions in my coaching big time. In fact, that is what keeps you stuck on the timeline that you're on. Okay. So at some point, the fabric of your consciousness, okay, now consciousness, not yet unconscious, maybe you were a child, but at some point, the fabric of your consciousness was torn by an incident, maybe incidents plural, by someone or several people, and it never got repaired. Okay, your assumptions never changed. It just you just left it there, okay, unexamined. And so when you really get behind the wheel of your life, you really need to go back and look at these artifacts, okay, so to speak, in your subconscious mind, if you want to use it that way. They're not really subconscious, they're right there, they're available. Like subconscious is again, I guess the implication that it's unknown, it's very much known. It's how you feel about things in the areas of your life that you feel about. Okay, that's what it's about. And so if as it happens, you're having energetically some kind of blockages with relationships, okay, there's certain incidents I know, okay, having done this for 10 years, that are responsible for you having this tear in the conscious fabric, in your consciousness, the fabric of your consciousness, um, and it needs simple re-examination, re-encoding. Certain decisions need to be made, okay? And it's uncomfortable because you thought just life just happens to you, and it's just what it is, all these like situations that our parents taught us. No, life is literally you constructing everything like Legos. And so when you take the time to, first of all, yes, understand what you want, but how you yourself feel in this world is where it really starts. Because again, the energy will translate. In other words, like I've discussed this yesterday, I can't believe I'm making these lives like every day, by the way, but I'm truly, truly inspired. Really just, yeah, really inspired and lots of downloads. And see, now I lost my track of thought. Um, where was I? The energy, it starts with you. So as I was saying yesterday, it's impossible for you not to, be, if you're not tapping into that feeling, there's no way that somebody can come into your life giving you that feeling. So you're encoding as you're changing, you're coding everything around yourself. That's a given. Like if nothing else happens, but you process your fears and insecurities and really understand the connection, that's already of great help. But in my coaching, towards the end, as I said, the second part of coaching, it consists of like choosing what I actually want. And that comes with a whole other set of emotions. And in some cases, like the person has never experienced such a relationship, such a fairy tale, has never had that much money, whatever, never driven such a car. And so there's different emotions that need to be calibrated as this is your new normal. Okay. And that is how, again, this is the work of a magician to be able to on command. Okay, it's kind of like when an actor goes into a role on command, or it, a real magician on command knows how to summon that frequency. That's what I would say. It's a gym of feelings and of disciplining your mind, okay? But here's the deal. Well, a lot of you struggle with anxiety, for instance, or not being able to focus, or just being worried about it nonstop. If you really code it correctly, and again, the method that I teach in my coaching, you construct it one time. I mean, definitely going through all the details that are really important to you, that are bothering you. It could be so stupid. Like, I get this all the time in my coaching, like men and women alike, where it's like, it's one partner to the next that they meet, it's a replica. Sometimes they even share a name. It's like, John number one, John number two. It's kind of like the same thing. So the universe is trying to tell you something. Like in my case, I mean, it's funny now, but really wasn't funny then. Like, I mean, almost every single guy that I would find, that I would gravitate towards, somehow would end up being abusive. Okay. A couple of them definitely, or some kind of other asshole shit. Okay. So it's the recalibration, and when I would meet the nicest guys, I wouldn't be able to accept it. So that's the entire work for you. Calibrating it with precision, getting to know that wavelength, and being able to remind yourself in the beginning of the day, okay, would be the optimal time, and throughout the day, your plan, your new blueprint, okay, down to the last detail. Like, I don't want them to have this situation. But, in my case, my mother was abusive. So, because I was not yet confronting my so-called demons, or not really demons, that's kind of like too dramatic to say, but insecurities, shall we say, lack of self-confidence. I would encounter people who would push me, and the last one was the greatest teacher, don't you know, the most abusive person that I've ever known in my life. um since then, they've been topped. But at that time, the most abusive person was the biggest push towards me understanding, hey, I'm not loving myself. Okay. So something needs to really be examined here. So when I did start the examination, it was self evident. It was completely self evident. So it's like, you see, you go to town, you do the work, you code it, you make decisions, you apply the method that I will teach you, which makes it stationary in your mind. And then it's kind of like, I don't know, I assume everybody's familiar here with like video games. It's kind of like you have a video game in your mind that you very effortlessly, now, not right away. In the beginning, you're gonna, again, it's a process of making choices, getting familiar with these choices, definitely, polishing them out, this and that, until you have this Lego like inner world, if you want to say it like that. And so then it becomes a really stationary situation for you to keep playing it on a loop. You're still in the same shed show, and you don't mind, because now out of this shed show, this world in your mind will somehow create itself if you just follow the yellow motherfucking brick road of inspirations and guidances. A lot of people, not for nothing, okay, get signs galore all the time and take no fucking action on it. It's not just blah blah blah. They're not giving you signs for no fucking reason. There's a reason they're giving you that sign on that day, in that hour. You understand what I'm saying? It's very like that. All right. At least listen, it is with me, so I know I'm not unique, and I've definitely heard similar situations um from my clients, because they will this is how they speak to you. Sometimes they speak to you verbatim, sometimes through signs. But like whatever you're trying to achieve, they're constantly, like constantly giving you the roadmap, or the opposite, like don't go there, don't do this, all these things. Or they will just take care of you and inspire you to do like, have you ever avoided something when you thought you wanted to go somewhere, but something, you got sidetracked, you got inspired to do something else, and you avoided something unpleasant? So they will do things like that. But it's all about like not insisting, right? You got your little Lego world, you've coded your SP, okay? He or she is out there, let's just say in quotations, walking around there, being his lovely or her lovely self. But this time around, Okay, instead of being at their fucking mercy, you've made decisions. So you're not stressed out like what's so fucking ever. You know what's in their mind because you fucking plugged it there. And if you know, if you're one of these people pleasers who is like, oh my God, Anna, do I have that much power? Get over yourself already, okay? You're already that powerful that this is the situation right now that you're in. So, you know what? If you want to continue being a masochist, be my guest. It's not the game I play though. So they're out there over there. Um, thinking exactly what you instructed them to think, behaving in the way that I mean, you can plant thoughts in people's minds, make them feel things, everything. Now, I say this, and then I go on to say this is not about forcing somebody. This is like the human language goes like this. You're making somebody do this. The reality of the situation, the quantum mechanics behind it is that you're connecting to that reality. So when people, on occasion, a narcissist or two ended up in my coaching thinking that I teach these kinds of forceful methods. I do not. I do not. I do not. So please don't misunderstand, don't misinterpret. This has nothing to do with witchcraft. Witchcraft doesn't work, parenthesis here. Okay. Witchcraft being implied as a negative, okay, or even positive, because you can't really make somebody do shit. Everybody's divinely protected. You can't go against God. Hello. You're gonna eat shit galore if you go against God. Everybody's divinely protected and divinely guided. This is why even if somebody's done you wrong, do not wish them ill, because that's your fucking karma. If they're a shit show, stupid motherfucker, that's fine. But you don't be a stupid motherfucker. Don't wish them ever ill. Anyway, so where was I? You're coding your reality with your choices. Okay? Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, don't wish them ill. Coding your reality consists of, again, making the decisions for your SP, thus making the decisions to be in that timeline. Okay, this has nothing to do with witchcraft. Oh, that's what I was going. Witchcraft doesn't work. You cannot force anybody do anything. The only thing that you can do is literally figure out how you can convince yourself that you know for sure that this SP loves you, that this SP in fact wants you. And it usually has to do, again, getting over some kind of an insecurity that, you know what, honestly is only in your head, is only in your head. They don't think that at all. If you really like, not even, doing anything with metaphysics or manifestation, if you talk to that person, they don't think that at all. That you think that makes you vibrate in a different way, and you again end up in a different parallel reality. Okay, so in like, again, and I want to stress, like, witchcraft or whatever doesn't work either way. Like, if so don't believe in these things. It's like you have the power, you're empowered, and you are protected, you're empowered, um to do with your life as you please. Okay, you can go through certain situations, um and it's not because somebody did something to you. It's because you're going through a certain situation and you're learning. Okay, depends on case by case. You get affected by something and you're going through some. But the fact that somebody can control your destiny and doing these things, you're going against God. So in the same manner, like, you cannot make somebody fall in love with you, that it's like, you're doing some voodoo magic witchcraft. No, you're convincing your own mind. This is why, like, the competition, the third parties, they don't exist. They just don't exist. This is 3D, thinking. I don't know what else to say. The 3D thinking doesn't work. The 5D thinking. All right. So if anything is possible, if anything is available, why the fuck do I need to do witchcraft? Okay, I could just go to the endless libraries of parallel realities. No witchcraft is necessary. I just need to understand how much power I have, that if just convince my mind thinking that my SP loves me and adores me, don't you know that that's the replica of what I'm going to see? No mystery there. Just as before you used your magical power against yourself thinking they don't love you, well, then they don't love you. Okay? When I thought that I was less than, I would attract less than men. Just like that. The most important thing that I wanted to communicate here, though, is like when you're coding your SP or your reality, um, you really have to keep in mind like how you have been affected by other people's energies and stories that don't belong to you, that again may have an effect on you today. And for people pleasers, big time, not just in the past, like not just being affected in the past by the energies, but being affected by feeling responsible for other people's emotional needs and taking on their energy. Okay. So this is something like really prevalent with people pleasers. Um, just taking on somebody else's energetic problems. You don't owe that person anything. I don't care if it's your mother, I don't care if it's your best friend. Okay? When it becomes that, somebody's throwing some negativity on you and you don't do anything about it, you just keep accepting it, you don't stand up to it, it affects your own energetic field, right? So it's like give people back their bullshit. It's not my problem that you behave this way. It's your problem, or it's not my problem that this happened. It's not for me to figure out why somebody decides to act this way. Okay, I want to keep my energy pure. And a lot of you, again, think it's not compassion or it's narcissism. It's not. It's like if you don't do this, you have nothing to work with. And then your manifestation get affected by um I don't know, replicating things that you really don't want to replicate. Somebody else's story, somebody else's impression, somebody else's blue blah blue. Okay, have your own counsel. What do I want to manifest here? Okay, again, it's like really maybe for the first time sitting down with yourself. And this is such an easy task, yet, very few people really do that, spend their time on doing that because it's considered like, well, wishful thinking or yeah, right, or whatever. But I'm telling you right now that if you spend some time to describe, to get into that feeling of this reality, like in detail, you know, what are you wearing? Where are you? Like, what are you eating every day? How does DSP treat you now? All of these things, what kind of car you drive? How's your business? Do-ba-do, do-ba-do, do-ba-do. It's it's going to start sinking in and it's going to start build itself out. Now, here's the other thing. There are a lot of components to this earthly theater, okay? And sometimes, you know, when you've been wishing for a long time for something, or when your desire's been like really, when it's so big, okay, at this point, you wished big, okay? A lot of energy went out. You know, so I want to emphasize, I think I said this yesterday, being rigid doesn't help. Meaning like tell okay, this shouldn't have happened like this, or this should happen by now, da da da. Just relax, and it might look like at first blush the changes that will occur as a result of you encoding this, right? It's like Neville said, in a couple of his lectures, you might come back tomorrow and say you lost the job, or you got fired, and I wouldn't bat an eye. It's exactly the same thing. It's like tomorrow something might happen so radical that you might be like, Anna, fuck you. Like, what is this? This is what happened, like a big change happened. This is for your own highest good. I don't make the fucking rules. I'm just a messenger. Okay? Something will shift in your life that will be a confirmation that you're on the right track. That sometimes, again, it might not look like exactly what you want it to look like. But believe me, it was orchestrated for your own highest good. Again, have this humility to surrender and to know that you don't know everything. It's impossible for you to know everything. Have this humility and just go like, you know what? I've coded my shit. I did my part of work. I know exactly my energy is pure. My heart is in the right place. Universe, take it away. Kind of deal. You know what I mean? And then don't complain. Here's the other thing, really quick. When you're talking, I don't mean to sound like a pastor over here. This method, by the way, what I just described to you more or less, is how you become the puppeteer. Like what everybody wants. Okay, I want to make my SP do this. I want to make my SP do that. Okay, this is how you do it. This is how you do it with your own mind, being meticulous, taking the time, to be an engineer of your world. It's the best kind of craftsmanship or art form. Where was I? I was gonna say something very religious, but now I forget. All right, you guys. I think I'm going to stop here just to make it a little short and sweet. Um. Oh, here's what I wrote down. Completely forgot about that. When I'm channeling, I should just not stop myself. Because usually what happens is there's so many downloads, I have to stop my recording and then go back to that thought and then press record again. And so that's how you guys end up hearing the audios. But this is live, baby. So I don't have that opportunity. So this is different. It's cool. Um, so two very powerful words. Like, let's just say you letting go of some kind of a thing, a really unpleasant thing, maybe like a third party or whatever. The same thing applies, right? You go into this arc. You know what comes to mind? That movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Inception. How they were looking for an architect. You're being the architect, okay, of your so-called invisible world that's going to become very fucking visible if you commit to, yourself to it. Um, Two very powerful words for a third party or an unpleasant situation or anything at all that right now simply feeds off of your energy. Right, it's there in the theater of your world because at some point there was energy given to it. Whatever, who cares? Like I said, everybody goes through shit. Well, disconnect the energy would be one, right? Stop feeling threatened by it. Stop kind of reacting to it. Stop feeling like this should not have happened. I think that's the most resistance you can have. And this is what I was going to say about so-called religious comment. It's like you can't argue with God. In other words, you can't talk back to God and be like, this shouldn't have happened and whatever, I'm unhappy because it's not here. Y- this is so ungrateful. It really fucking is. You can't talk like that to God. You can't talk like that to the universe. You gotta be like, I know that you have my best interest, so I trust you fully. You wouldn't fuck me up. I know that. You're showing me all the signs. I know my gut feeling, my intuition confirms it. I know that everything is on my side. Why would I question you? Right? So this is kind of like, I mean, it's part of like beating yourself up a little bit also, because reality is you're talking to God, you're talking to yourself like this. But I mean, generally speaking, you're speaking with the universe, right? They do want to help you, very much so, but they want you to understand. I mean, just the way it works. Again, you're seeing energy. Everything is energy. Just start seeing the world like that. How I started. Like, if you just Really just simplify it for yourself. It's what you make it. It's what you shoot at it. Okay? You can decide and then go out into the world shooting energy the way that you decided. And if you are really disciplined, this world is going to come around and is going to continue being there if you make it stationary. And then you don't have any fucking freakouts because you know you've done this work. I'm giving you golden diamonds. I hope you really appreciate it. I stumbled there in the middle, but I picked myself back up. Anyway, this is how you encode your SP with your own energy. There's nothing else to do. So, in that sense, like if you feel powerless, don't. You have all the power within you right now. You're so powerful, you can manifest this fucking third party. Disconnect the energy and say, no more. You are no more in my consciousness. I just ejected you out of my head. Booms. Into the grass that chip goes, kind of deal. Okay, and you stop worrying about it. It's not a motherfucking issue anymore. Okay, that circumstance, no, it's like this. And then you don't have anxiety, you don't spiral because you're so familiar with your decisions that you go like, you know what, the whole world can turn upside down. I don't give a flying fuck. I've already done my work. I know I'm responsible only for my timeline. Nobody can affect it. They're only affecting themselves, which is why I said witchcraft doesn't work. The only person gets affected is them. And it's a really, really bad idea anyway, which is why a couple of times people said, are you a witch? I'm just like, I just jokingly said, I'm a white witch, but reality is not true. Um, Again, the connotation is you doing something against somebody's will, which is simply absurd. If you believe in these things, you don't understand how the universe works. Excuse me, so thirsty. All right, you guys, I'm going to stop here. Happy Thanksgiving again. And all the information from me is below. I never did the coaching information. All the information from me is below. My signature coaching package is what I recommend, 2 to 3 months in it. You do need a 1 hour session to start, simply to make sure that we're the right fit for each other. And you can also do the same journey in 6 months or a year. All right. Thank you very much for joining and rewatching, and big thumbs up. Ciao, cacao.